let's see what's been happening. I've heard that there's some people crashing out in Mexico at the moment. And we're gonna see. I'm gonna be seeing. I need the full context. So decoys got the deed on us. Apparently, this just happened like just recently, right? And you know for a fact, my mis hermanos y mis hermanas que viven en Mexico, they kind of a lot of them personally hate this, And honestly, I'd be curious to see, like, because apparently they killed, what is it, El Mencho, right?
Mexico falls into chaos as a cartel takes over large parts of Jalisco, including a potential of American hostages, as tourists first reported fires all across the city.
Well, this one just started here. There's some fires over there on the 200 apparently.
Jesus.
Not sure what's going on.
Seen from popular hotels in Puerto Vallarta.
I can see the flames underneath that black
Puerto
smoke.
Vallarta?
Flames everywhere.
How do you pronounce it?
Another big one over there. Another one directly behind this resort we're staying at.
As Canadian tourists are stranded on the top of their hotel, where even their Costco was under attack.
Ay, no, not the Costco. Ay, juela. Ay, la puta madre. No, hombre, no mames. El pinche Costco.
As the cartels are setting vehicles on fire.
Holy, oh my god.
And claims on social media say a prison was set ablaze as inmates have escaped, with the cartels carjacking random travelers to set their vehicles on fire, even attacking gas stations to do the same.
What the hell? Oh my god.
Shutting down roads by leaving buses ablaze. Even stopping semis to also set them on fire. And even scooters still inside stores are getting
No, not the scooters. Oh my lord, you can't be serious with me.
torched as well. Now the local police have responded, but sadly, several of them are already deceased. Now their national goal.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Yeah. This is pretty typical thing, to be honest. I've seen quite a lot of this.
Has arrived.
Yeah, that's the quotation marks,
And are actually going to war with the cartels right in the streets, as it really looks.
So, you want to know something? This is like usually the typical thing you kind of basically see in like, not in a first world country. So that's why when I said specifically when like it's crazy to not see military like patrolling the streets in a city, it's the craziest thing to witness, like you actually have like actual police officers doing their stuff, and then it's a pretty crazy thing to see like the two vice versa differences, when it came to like not just living in Mexico but living in other places too as well specifically. And that's what I'm saying specifically, because I've witnessed a lot of these things. I was also living in some of those places too, even though I wasn't for like a long time or so, but I still lived there and experienced pretty much all of this, and the locals have told me about it. The people that I've met and I've interacted with, it's just stories, just so many stories in general when it comes to just this in general.
Like there's a civil war going on in Mexico, and sadly, civilians are getting caught in the middle, where even hospitals don't know whether to evacuate or to shelter in place.
Oh, Jesus.
But as some people attempt to escape, The airports are getting shut down as well, as some scramble to get inside. Everywhere looks like pure chaos.
Holy cow, dude.
Corre, 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 corre.
Where some travelers are sheltering in place.
Algo está pasando. Todo el mundo está corriendo.
It appears employees were trying to escape.
Holy cow, dude. This is probably pretty terrifying, I'm not gonna lie, for people who have not like witnessed or experienced these kinds of things. Especially coming to visit here for a vacation and everything like that, you know? Like, don't get me wrong, you know, vacation, Mexico is a good place to vacation, you know, the beautiful culture, food, and rich heritage and everything. But man, dude, it just sucks how fucking like pretty shitty corrupted it is. I've a firsthand experienced this too as well, you know. Unfortunately, like I would love to visit, you know, my family members and everything in Mexico, right? But you know, I don't want to, because the shit that I had experienced back then or so has kind of warped my perspective and changed my perspective in quite a lot of things, you know. At the end of the day, I've fucking witnessed decapitation, so.
And you can't blame anyone for not knowing where to go when the carnage is part of the cartel's plan, and it's absolutely working, where some hotel guests describe the confusion.
Here on the beach,
I came from
the
a third
tiki
world
bar is
country to
being
first
cleared out. All of these things are being cleared out. It's being roped off right now. They're asking that everybody vacate the area and leave immediately. You can see the smoke. I don't know if you can, the smoke in the sky. We were just walking on the beach and we saw smoke everywhere, and we're being informed that there's major cartel violence happening. A top-ranking cartel member, and when that happens, all-out war happens.
Yeah, so for those who don't know specifically, this happened a couple years back or so, where I think it was this, I think they're saying it's was it the Juarelisto or was it the CJ Ings? Was it the CJ Ings that are going chaos right now? I forgot which one it is. I know it's one of those two specifically, where they did capture the leader, but then all hell broke loose in the city, and they were also causing the same type of chaos. They were burning, there were shootings, the military had to come into as well, you know, all of this other stuff and whatnot. So this also happened many years back. I did see the VOD show specifically of Asmongold, but he said like, why would they do this kind of thing? You know, they get nothing out of it. No, that's just how they are. You know, that's literally how they are. Specifically this specific group, when they grabbed their leader the last time or so, it just hell broke loose immediately. And then I think if I remember correctly, they returned them back or something, and then everything went back to normal, I think, question mark. I'm not too sure. Like I said, it's been a while since I looked into that information specifically, but it happened the same thing many years back or so.
A number of cars have been set on fire, motorcycles set on fire. In fact, there were some attendees of Anarchapulco who were in a taxi cab. They had their car shot at, the taxi driver was murdered, and the car was set on fire. All of their luggage has been burnt, including their clothes and passports, in fact. So it's a pretty scary, dire situation right now. We're being told do not go out at all. In fact, the entire airport may be shut down right now because of this cartel violence. I mean, we heard Trump mentioning a while back that he's going to go after the cartel in Mexico. Is this the beginning of that? Are we witnessing it live? I don't know, but...
While others seem very casual about the events.
Oh, jeez. Let's go. Follow me.
Oh yeah, it's you know, some people take it casually because it's kind of like a reoccurring thing. It's just like another Tuesday at the end of the day. So that's why. Los Chapitos son del El Chapo shut down Caliocan, the capital of Sinaloa. Yeah, I think that might be. I think that might be the one that I may be referring to. I know it was like something similar. That's why I don't remember what was the group or so specifically. So.
Just follow me. It can't explode anymore. Oh. Oh. Oh, really? Oh. Wow. Oh, well.
I just walked past it a few minutes ago.
I don't like any of this. This isn't nice. Run for the hills. But listen, they've already hit this street. So.
Yeah, no, people are just saying like, "Oh, it's just another Tuesday," you know. It's just kind of like it is, you know. So if you have a rat problem and you know that if you touch one of them, they will cause chaos, what do smart people would do? Make a trap and be ready to kill all of them. This does not look like a
I
trap.
think we're okay.
I don't know what you mean by trap in general. They're just causing chaos right
I
now.
wish I can get a cup of coffee.
I need a drink.
I'm sorry. You need a drink.
I don't even drink that much.
I need a cup of coffee. You need a drink. Oh my God, self-centered to the extreme. The world.
I know when I used to visit some other places specifically, right? When I went to go visit, you know, my family members don't live in the tourist area, so I'm pretty much A-okay, right? But the one thing you need to do or so is when you visit these areas specifically, you should not be talking English whatsoever. Because I remember during the time or so, they would kidnap people or so who speak English and then use them for ransom to get money from their parents and everything like that. So
Everything's exploding.
you only speak
Oh, and there's a
Spanish and
little
Spanish
lady sweeping
alone.
up the leaves. You know, nothing ever changes.
And I don't know if that's smart, or it's the shack, or if you're seeing the locals casually standing around, you should feel somewhat safe to go grab a coffee. Because at this point, basically everything reported is a rumor. As some say the cartels are about to enter homes and hotels if their demands are not met, with the US Embassy also addressing the situation, stating due to ongoing security operations, related roadblocks, and criminal activity, US citizens should shelter in place. But the situation appears to be getting minimal news coverage, with the local outlets reporting only massive attacks, stating the cartel's leader, who had a bounty of $10 million, has been taken out by their local federal forces, with 6 others being detained as counterattacks occur statewide, where Puerto Vallarta authorities are urging everybody
What is it? How do you pronounce this correctly? Puerto Vallarta? I think that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. So, Puerto Vallarta.
to stay indoors. Public transit is suspended and businesses are asked to close, with all flights into Puerto Vallarta and Guadalajara are being diverted. Scary to think US citizens could be
Because these are all military people. For those who don't know, the cartel members are like either ex-military people or military people. You know, so these are all like trained soldiers at the end of the day. These aren't your typical like crooks in the mud or so, you know.
in this, but sadly that's a known risk when traveling to a country that's largely controlled by the cartels, with rumors that these resorts are too owned by those same gangs, and even residents speculating their president is as well. But hopefully this all gets resolved in the near future. I just wonder what the American implications might be, as our borders have been a hot button issue for the last decade, and this is yet another reminder of why border security should be such a priority. But in the scary event that US citizens become collateral damage in Mexico's unrest, does that mean our military must get involved? And after what happened in Venezuela, what's about to happen in Iran, I really don't want another hot conflict to occur. But what do you think? If US citizens are involved, should our military as well? Or is this something we shouldn't concern ourselves with as long as it stays on that side of the border? I genuinely want to know what everybody thinks and eagerly await what that
To be honest, having this shit literally be like in your back door or so is probably, it's probably not the best thing you want to have, if it's because if America's there, then Mexico's like literally underneath them. You really don't want to have that literally being right there. And I assume like the trading between Mexico and the U.S. is actually pretty decently well, and you want to keep that still going, like very well balanced. But like, having this happening, and then also American citizens being involved in this as well, like innocent American citizens that literally have nothing to do with this whatsoever, it's gonna be pretty crazy when the US, you know, when it gets to a serious point, or to a boiling point anyways. The US military ain't gonna hold back or so. I'm like, we've seen what happened with when they captured the leader in Venezuela at the end of the day. So we all know for a fact is we'll see what happens in the next coming days. Like, how is this gonna transpire? Because this is what, the first day of it specifically. We'll see if it continues going on even more. So, well, I will be honest with you. At least those specific people will understand. You know how like those people, those people on Twitter and everything like that, were like, we're basically saying, let the dictator of Venezuela go and everything, and like, the people in Venezuela are like crying and blah 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 blah, because they captured their leader. It's just the Twitter mindset, right? That specific Twitter mindset. At least like these people here that are visiting or so will finally get like a little taste of how, I guess you could say, sort of, kind of, to some degree, understand that, how the living habitat over there in Mexico is. It's not really the exact same one-to-one, but it's like a small taste of it. They'll understand specifically, because I was I don't remember the specific pueblo that I was at or so. But I do remember the pueblo itself, but I just don't remember the name because it had a ridiculously long name at the end of the day. So, where's choppers and loudspeakers playing Volver with the AI Donald Trump singing it? Oh, I have no idea. But yeah, well, if the U.S. military gets involved in this, I know for a fact this shit's probably gonna get shut down pretty quickly. Because I'll be honest with you, U.S. military is not a joke to be to kind of be messing with at the end of the day. They're kind of no joke to mess with, But we'll see what happens at the end of the day. Well, there's only future things that are coming. Well, I'm just hoping everyone stays safe at least over there, U.S. is #1 military superpower for a reason. Well, yeah, you guys fucking took down the dictator of fucking Venezuela at the end of the day, with at ease and not losing anybody. You shot a fucking laser beam basically. So I'm like, I don't know who can casually, nonchalantly shoot a laser beam, and just kind of like say, yeah, yep, that's pretty much it,